us a signal.
Yeah.
We can start. Welcome, everyone, to briefing today. We got a full packed agenda, but I like to start with who's in the room. So let's start on that side of the table and do a quick introduction.
Lacey Chartier, Director of the Hive through Revive.
Joshua Leach, Director of the ERP programs at Revive.
I'm Ariel Anderson, CHHS Director, Cities.
Luis Garcia, I'm the Director of Code Enforcement and Parking Services.
I'm Nicolette Ockeltree, the Spokane City Council Manager of Housing and Homelessness Initiatives.
Dawn Kindar, Neighborhood Housing and Human Services for the city.
Maggie Yates, Deputy City Administrator.
Sarah Thompson, Therapeutic Court Coordinator.
Ann Raven, Integrated Medical Services Manager for Spokane Fire Department.
Erica Lowe, RN and VP of Consistent Care Services.
Darren Nevin, CEO of Consistent Care. Paul Dillon, Spokane City Council, District 2.
Mike Cathcart, Spokane City Council, representing downtown and Northeast Spokane.
Betsy Wilkerson, Council President.
Zach Pound City Council, District 3.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. I just had a cold. I'm under the influence of Theraflu. So if I don't remember your name and I just point to you, just please respond, okay? So there. With that, I'm going to kick it off to Nicolette. She has a presentation for us, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll kick it over to Maggie.
Council President, we have Councilmember Navarrete.
Oh, great. Welcome, Councilmember Navarrete.
All right, so we're gonna take a little journey. First of all, I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to be super nervous this morning. I'm told it's character building to be this nervous, but I'm excited to help do this with you guys. This will be a little journey through the homeless response system through the lens of the Spokane Municipal Code. And here are some of the sections that we're going to be going through. When I initially was asked to do this, we thought there would be more time for me to do this. So I'm going to skip through a few of these things in virtue of some of the other members that are going to be speaking. But we're going to go through sit in line, pedestrian interference, unauthorized camping, protections for people experiencing homelessness, and within that is some activation criteria with respect to inclement weather shelters, and then the citing of city-owned homeless shelters. Let's see, I've got my little slides in here. All right, so starting with sit and lie. You'll notice too, I'm not going to read every word for time reasons, but these are taken from the code, and then when possible, I've cited the code either on the top, bottom, or both. So sit and lie prohibitions are such that no person may sit down or lie upon a public sidewalk during the hours of 6 a.m. and midnight in the zone designated in this section. And we're going to see the map of that here in a second. It's also prohibited at all times, it is unlawful to sit or lie, essentially on any fixture that's not designed primarily for the purposes of sitting. At all times, it's also unlawful to sit or lie in any entrance or exit from any building. But here are the exceptions. For every rule, there's an exception, except for maybe the rule that there's an exception for every rule. So the first exception is sitting or lying due to a medical emergency, and that I'm sure makes sense to everyone. Another one is participating or attending in a parade or festival, performance, rally, or demonstration, sitting within a bus stop zone, engaging in constitutionally protected expressive activities. And the bottom one, which I think for our present purposes might be the most interesting to folks, is people who are homeless during the time frame when shelter space is unavailable. And we'll talk about this more too in the unlawful camping section. So let's talk a little bit about the enforcement and penalties. So if the prohibited conduct occurs within the designated zone, then this first section is saying that they should have a warning and a chance to comply. The penalty is a misdemeanor, and we'll unpack that a little bit too in one of the other sections. And I did check that misdemeanor otherwise is 90 days and a minimum or maximum of a $1,000 fine, which is difficult to see in the code, so something that we might be able to work on when we're making advancements for making improvements going forward. So also with respect to violations, it's the intent of the City Council as it's written in the code that homeless individuals subject to enforcement will be directed to emergency shelters, community drug mental health court, and other interventional services. So this is the map of the boundary for sit and lie, outlined in red downtown. And let's see here. I'm not going to go over a lot of the data on these citations, but I did want to point out this very cool dashboard that exists that I became aware of when Councilman Dillon reached out to Shauna Ernst to talk about whether or not we could get some additional data on sit and lie and pedestrian interference. I don't know if they'll be able to go over that today or in the future, but I was really impressed that it exists. All right, so let's go to pedestrian interference. I think it's interesting here that the purpose of pedestrian interference as defined in the code really is tied to aggressive solicitation as well. And this is where, we often hear people talk about these as quality of life ordinances, and as indicated here in the purpose of this section. So a person is guilty of pedestrian interference if in a public place they intentionally obstruct pedestrian traffic, where obstruction of pedestrian traffic means to intentionally walk, stand, sit, lie, or place an object in such a manner so as to obstruct or impede. Essentially, if anybody feels as though they would have to create an invasive action in order to avoid physical contact, this is going to be something that counts as obstruction of pedestrian traffic. Aggressive solicitation here is defined as to solicit something, in particular with respect to engaging in a conduct that would also likely intimidate a reasonable person. It gives a few different examples of that here. So I'm going through these really fast, but there's a lot of ground to cover. And then exceptions, like the sit and lie exception, a valid exercise of one's constitutional rights, and penalty misdemeanor. Another screenshot of the awesome dashboard that exists that hopefully we'll be able to dive into in the future. So, unauthorized camping is in the code prohibited such that no person may camp in or upon any public property, including but not limited to on conservation lands. And we'll see a specific section that really covers the riparian areas in a second. At all times, regardless of the availability of shelter, it's unlawful to camp where the activity poses substantial danger to any person, an immediate threat or unreasonable risk to harm of public health and safety, or disruption of vital government services. If you'll notice, when we'll get to a slide later that shows the sections of the code where unauthorized camping has to have shelter availability as a component of it, and the sections that do not. So more of the prohibitions, and this one is again at all times regardless of the availability of shelter beds, that it's unlawful to camp or store personal property in the following locations: under or within 50 feet of any railroad viaduct located within the Spokane Police Department's downtown precinct boundary, and we're going to look at that map in a second, within 3 blocks of any congregate shelter, or within 1,000 feet of a park, daycare, childcare facility, public or private school. And this was one section of the code that was changed when Prop 1 was passed last year. So here's the zone as it's linked in the code. I do want to point out it's a fairly old map, but there's that. And then I tried to make this little graphic so that it was a little bit less confusing. So the penalty is a misdemeanor. If someone is subject to arrest on a warrant, or there's probable cause for a crime, they can be jailed. But as the code is written, if they're not subject to arrest on a warrant, or there is not probable cause for a crime, they're to be cited and released. And then there's this additional section that says, with exception of those who do not meet the criteria for acceptance into community court, the individuals who are subject to enforcement under this chapter shall be referred to community court by officer citation. All right, so let's talk about enforcement and shelter bed availability. So again, there's this piece that says that law enforcement officers shall not issue a criminal citation to enforce unauthorized camping on public property at a time when there's no available overnight shelter. And this talks a little bit about what that confirmation looks like. And so with respect to this list right here, it's to is to ensure that the confirmation of overnight shelter availability may come from data provided through a city-approved data system. I know that Shelter Me Spokane may or may not have been one of those things that was used in the past, but that's an operational question, and that can be answered by SPD later if they're having an opportunity to speak. I'm not really sure who all is going to speak today. Whether a shelter has available space for sleeping, the number of available spaces, and also one that they would accept because it matches their demographic. All right, so here's the graphic I was talking about that hopefully makes it a little bit clearer to understand when it can be enforced regardless of shelter availability. So the sort of more general one of no camping on public property unless authorized by the mayor during a declaration of emergency is not tied in the code to a requirement with respect to, or it is tied, to a requirement to ensure that the shelter availability. But these other three can be enforced at all times regardless of shelter availability. And that is the unlawful camping in instances where it's a substantial danger, immediate threat, the one under the viaducts, and that incorporates all the Prop 1 stuff, and then the riparian areas one to protect against harm to our waterways. So I'm actually not going to go through these because I know code is going to talk a little bit later, but this section here, and I can send this out to Jacoby so that he can circulate it more widely, but this talks a little bit more about unoccupied encampments and how code enforcement is to remove them as with respect to how it's written in the code. Cleanup of unoccupied encampments. I gained a new appreciation for you. I was already very appreciative of your department, but you guys sure do have a lot of rules to follow. And then occupied encampments. It talks about prioritization of removals and what expedites those removals of the encampments and other additional expedited removals. And under what conditions. Another dashboard screenshot of unlawful camping. I'm really excited to dig into this more too because you can really drill in via precinct and neighborhood, which I think is awesome. And then just to show you that map of all the clusters of the calls for service. I'm sure that's not a big shock to anybody, but still visually stunning to see. Okay, and so this, when I was tasked with this, we wanted to see if we could do a geographical map of this, and so I reached out to GIS to see if they had done any mapping of Prop 1 previously. And what you see here is something that they had put together for Prop 1 at the beginning of the year, and they're continuing to work on and have agreed to help implement some of the other pieces that council members would like to see. For example, when we saw that sit and lie map, that could be identified here. All the little schoolhouse-looking ones are schoolhouses, and the blue ones are shelters, and the purple ones are and the black ones are the daycares. And then the green shows the various buffer zones. And they had some questions about certain pieces, which I think they're going to have to get resolved before they continue doing the mapping. But otherwise, here's just a good draft to see what it looks like to have it all mapped out.
Nicolette?
And work in progress. Yes, sir.
So are those the graphics supposed to be representative of the 3-block radius or the 1,000 feet radius? Are they scaled to that size?
That's a good question that I don't know the answer to.
If not, I would like to get one that's accurate to scale.
Yeah, and there's definitely a need to update. So she sent, the individual who was working on this sent me a list of the shelters and asked, like, oh, who do I, contact for a complete list of the shelter? There were some that were a little bit outdated, and then so I gave her Ariel Anderson's contact information to be able to get that complete list, and hopefully that'll be a little bit easier since you guys just did the housing inventory count. But yeah, so this is definitely a work in progress and not totally baked, but a thing to look forward to.
So Nicolette, I'm
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
could you back up? So
Yes, ma'am.
the previous screen, so
Yeah.
what does the green represent?
So the green is the buffer zone around the.
Waterways.
Sorry?
Is that the waterways?
Yeah. And what's interesting here is like there's one section
Where can they get?
of the river that's right here that there seemed to be some sort of lack of clarity on whether or not that area can be enforced the same way as others. It wasn't entirely clear to me, but I did pass it on to Chris Wright, our policy advisor, to make some comments on, and the GIS, I think we'll be working with City Legal to maybe get some clarity, or SPD to get some clarity on that. But yeah, I mean, I think that, now that I think about it, I don't know that the size could possibly be that. But I don't know if anybody in the room is here from GIS.
Nicolette, it's very likely
Yeah?
that this is a zoom in or zoom out
Yeah.
screenshot
Mm-hmm.
that certainly doesn't provide a good scale because you see the icons representing, for example, the schools. They're rather large when compared to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So this is just a screenshot. The GIS map is interactive. You can
Yeah.
go in and out.
And Jacoby, if you did want to click on it, this picture does link to the map you can zoom in and out of, and then it has the legends here.
There you go. That's better.
And then this is the little area I was talking about with the river. Because that section about the riparian areas one might think that it would capture that, but there seems to be some sort of lack of clarity there that I don't fully understand. But hopefully we'll get worked through. And then the orange ones you can see are the railroad viaduct. It doesn't have the sit and lie boundaries on it, but that is something that they would be able to do. I want to say that one of the pieces they did mention might be difficult is the siting of basic facilities, that section, because it refers to it as blocks and not feet, and that's ambiguous, so we might have to look at that in terms of building some clarity on that. I'm just really excited that something like this can exist, and even though it's not completely done, I feel like it's a very hopeful thing to see. Can you go back to the slideshow, Jacoby? Unless there are any other questions on that. All right, so this is the section with respect to, it's in Title 18, where many of the other human rights issues are found. And in this findings and purposes, as written, the code says that the city finds that each resident in Spokane is entitled to a basic level of dignity, respect, and wellness. And also has language in there about historically the city policy regarding the response to homelessness in a community needing night-by-night shelter has been inconsistent and insufficiently transparent, collaborative, regional, or inclusive. And this is something if you've been paying attention to these issues, and the way the city has dealt with them in a long time, was something that a previous council baked in response to that. The purpose of this section is to set a baseline, it says, within the city limits of providing night-by-night shelter as our city's minimum response to homelessness. And so this is the section about activation criteria for inclement weather centers. And so with respect to warming centers, sufficient to meet, that there should be warming centers sufficient to meet the sheltering needs of currently unsheltered homeless individuals and other vulnerable individuals seeking shelter on each day during which the temperature is predicted by the National Weather Service to be 32 degrees or lower, and designated low barrier shelter space was at 90% capacity or greater during the previous night. And then so similarly with the cooling centers, there is this activation criteria such that it is to be activated when the temperature is predicted by the National Weather Service to be 95 degrees or higher for 2 consecutive days or more. And then it has this recommendation that the city should seek out network of cooling center locations throughout the city schools, libraries, churches, and community centers, etc. Safe air centers, similar criteria except for with respect to air quality index and it reaching 201 or higher. And then there's this clause 2 about emergency centers, which states that emergency centers can be activated by the mayor or the mayor's designee on any day in which a civil emergency or extreme storm or weather condition exists or is predicted to occur, or poses a severe threat to the health or safety of vulnerable and unsheltered homeless individuals. So this section is a little bit about the planning policies and procedures as it's written in the code, and states that the CHHS department shall implement appropriate policies and procedures, including funding requests to ensure that these are maintained. And this bottom piece too, that the plan really ought to be out no later than September 30th of every year. And this is that the city should publish and disseminate the city's plan for emergency warming, cooling, and safe air centers for the coming year. And a lot of this was in virtue of the fact that for many years we were scrambling every winter to try to put this together and every summer to try to put this together. Let's see.
So Nicola, I'm going to
Yes,
ask how much more do you have because I want to hear from everybody else in the room.
I was going to not go through these ones and just do the public process of the siting of the facilities.
Okay.
So I'm almost done. So when we're talking about citing a basic city facility, there's a process that needs to be followed, including convening at least one public meeting and publishing any alternative locations, specifically, and then the equity subcommittee is to review it for those reasons. And then the criteria specifically with respect to city-owned homeless shelters are such that it shall not be located within 3 blocks of schools. That 3 blocks is what I referred to earlier. Putting that in feet probably would be beneficial for the mapping purposes. And then the location must be accessible by public transportation. And then there's the language about the Good Neighbor Agreement, which must be in place between the shelter provider and the surrounding business and applicable neighborhood council. Did you want to open up to questions, Council President?
Yes, any questions before I kick it over to Maggie? All right, thank you, Nicolette. I specifically had requested that because it started getting a little convoluted. as to the ordinances we have on the book. So Maggie, take it from there.
Thank you. Thanks, council members, for having us and for setting this up. And thanks, Nicolette. That was incredibly helpful level setting information. And as Nicolette sort of overviewed, Spokane Police Department is responding to calls for services related to camping, unauthorized camping, and other calls. Those calls for service have increased over the last year, and the response rate has increased as well. They responded to about 45% in person last year, and that's up about 75%. So Acting Chief McNabb and Acting Assistant Chief Singley are both in the room on hand to answer questions as needed, but just want to recognize their work and also recognize the fact that responding with law enforcement is not going to completely solve the problem, and our law enforcement partners recognize that as well, because we're dealing with really complex needs. In some cases, it's homelessness. In some cases, it's mental health or substance use or economic security. And in some cases, all of those needs overlap. So we are doing our best to sort of zoom out and take a more comprehensive approach, a strategic approach, using lots of different investment resources and partners in the community and expertise to tackle this from all sides. And so really delighted to be joined at the table by many of those partners who are doing the work, and want to first introduce Dr. Darren Nevin, who is CEO of Consistent Care. We contracted with them under the emergency declaration that the mayor made related to the opioid crisis earlier this year. And they are doing work focusing on this population of individuals where the needs that I just identified really converge. So folks that are rotating between our hospital emergency departments, our jail and law enforcement, as well as our streets or shelter resources. So I will let Dr. Nevin take it from here, and Erica, and speak more to sort of how the program operates, what you're doing, and the impacts that you anticipate. So
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Darren Nevin. I was an ER physician at Sacred Heart for 17 years. And when I came to this community, I came to know this population and see firsthand how they cycle through the ER, and that they don't need as much medical services as connection with outpatient solutions and case management, and a connection with someone to help them follow through. And that helped me start a program more than 10 years ago called Hotspotters. It was originally sponsored by the Spokane County Medical Society. It was a lot of collaboration with community players for these really high users of jail, court, and ERs. The fire department had a really big role in it, and we met monthly, and that's when community court was just getting started, and we sent a lot of people through community court, and Francis played a large role in that. And then it transitioned over to Empire Health Foundation, and they did it for a while. And then Community Court and Consistent Care have just kind of kept it going without any funding, just kind of kept all the connections going, because we have a lot of social services in town, and we have a lot of people that we all know about, and we just all kind of do an APB on, hey, have you seen this person? Do you know how we can help this person? We're really thankful that the city has funded this program again and allowed us to put FTEs behind it so we can walk with these people. And I just want to talk about what we're willing to do and what we are doing for this under an emergency contract right now. The basis of this program, because it was started by myself and because I worked in the ER, is using evidence-based treatments for the maladies that cause people to be homeless and camp. And primarily, a lot of that is substance use disorder and mental illness. And so the primary tools that we use are medication-assisted treatment. There's really effective medications for opioid use disorder. The evidence is more than compelling. It's very overwhelming that if you take a substance and substitute it for fentanyl or heroin or Mexes or oxycodone, that will stabilize them, and then they can work on other parts of their life, like housing, getting in touch with their kids, getting a job again, and you give them a replacement opioid that doesn't get them high but keeps them out of withdrawals. The evidence is completely overwhelming. And typically you'll meet families that'll say, oh, well, you're substituting one drug for another. Exactly, because there's brain damage and altered brain chemistry that happens with these addictions that cannot be overcome with willpower, except in exceptional conditions. There's always somebody and I don't mean to say it like that, but there's like 1 to 5% of people, I call them the Olympic athletes, that can go cold turkey on opioids, but it's not the norm. And the studies clearly show that if you have a loved one on opioids, you're putting them at tremendous risk unless they have tremendous willpower and fortitude if you're having them do the cold turkey approach to opioids. So a major pillar of what we do is we try to get people on Suboxone, which is the over-the-counter treatment for opioid use disorder. Some people want to get on methadone. That's fine too. It's whichever one they want to get on. There's not super strong feelings. You basically have to have the patient's buy-in. There's a lot of logistical issues with methadone. It's a little harder to get started on it, but it's not impossible, and you have to go there every day initially. Eventually, you can get carries and then go maybe up to a week at a time and take it home. Obviously, it's a lot more dangerous drug. There's a little bit of euphoria associated with it, especially if you mix it with other drugs like benzodiazepines and alcohol, and it's completely lethal if a young one were to take it. The nice part about Suboxone is you can get it at Walgreens. Every doctor with a DEA now can prescribe it, and you can't overdose on it, and you can't party with it. You can't get high on it. It really is like an inherently safe drug that has a really bad name because it had all these regulations around it. Like it must be like methadone where it's like super dangerous. It's not. And really, my thought is we really need to have it used a whole lot more because, like I said, you can't party with it. You can't inject it. It has alteration substances in it where if you inject it, you're not going to get high. That's what the naloxone does in it. It's a common misconception that the Narcan that's in Suboxone has a therapeutic effect. It's not absorbed in the body. It's only there that if you have your low chemistry lab at home and you try to inject it, because injecting buprenorphine is great. It's like heroin. You will get euphoria from that, but the naloxone prevents you from doing that. And then the other drug, which is also a great drug, is Vivitrol, and that's an opioid blocker. So it's a once-a-month shot, and it completely blocks all opioids. If you take something, you can't overdose from it for a whole 30 days. You also can't take any pain medicines like oxycodone or Vicodin, and if you need a surgery, it makes things a little problematic. And so it's really like an insurance policy that you're not going to overdose. We try to get people on that. It's not widely used because you have to be off opioids for 7 days. So it has tremendous potential in the jails. Most people go through withdrawals in the jail. And the jail here does do a short-term use of buprenorphine, Suboxone. So they get through that withdrawal phase, but they don't do the maintenance phase in jail. So that's Vivitrol has a lot of potential, but people usually don't like to get on that. Another really co-occurring common malady in folks in this population is they have severe mental illness, organic mental illness. We call it Axis 1 mental illness, where they have a deficiency in a neurotransmitter causing something like bipolar, mania, but most frequently schizophrenia. And there are treatments for schizophrenia. Antipsychotics is what the main treatment for it. It's not a disease where talk therapy can help. So we are always trying to get people on antipsychotics. This population tends to be very disorganized and they tend to lose their pills. There are people with schizophrenia who are housed and do take their pills every day, but those that don't, they are on the streets. A lot of the people you see talking to themselves on the street, they could be under the influence of meth, but there's also a 50% chance they just have severe untreated schizophrenia. So a lot of what we try to do is get them the shot for schizophrenia. It's a 30-day shot, and we've seen miraculous things happen in the stability, the thought clarity, the ability to be organized if they'll take that shot. We use contingency management, which on first glance kind of sounds like manipulation and bribery, but it is an evidence-based approach to giving economic rewards for doing something that's therapeutic for the patient. You're basically saying what we do with someone is we take them to Jack in the Box once a month and we give them the shake and the fries they want if they get the shot. And that's an evidence-based, accepted by SAMHSA, treatment option for substance use disorders to provide these economic incentives. It was actually pioneered a lot at WSU here, and it's also used a lot for cigarette smoking cessation. So those are like these really strong pillars. There's obviously lots of other solutions for helping this population, but we feel those are like the main medical interventions. And once we do one of those interventions, we like to get them into residential treatment. We have great residential treatment programs here in town, like Sunray Court, Pioneer Center East, SRSC, Spark. That is the only immediate housing option that we have. Once somebody comes in and they're like, okay, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, I want to get on Suboxone, I want to take my shot, it takes 3 to 6 months to get a house. So then we'll put them in one of those places, which if they're on Medicaid, they can usually get into. We're lucky with that. And then if they make it through that, we like to get them into sober housing. Oxford House is one form of sober housing. It is the most inexpensive form of housing in Spokane. You can get your own room in a house for around $600 to $750 a month, which is really hard to find an apartment like that. All these things have moving parts, and it takes a team to do that. And so we have a team of a nurse case manager that tries to do those evidence-based interventions. We look at a lot of their medical records, figure out what the psychiatrists have said, what their overdose history is. But then we use community health workers, which are either professionals or people with lived experience that can have this connection with them. There's a lot of services in town, but it requires the person to go out and knock on the door and get this service and then stitch that service together and then do that service, go to DSHS, get your ID. What they really need is a kind of like a lawyer does for a court case, or a realtor does when they sell a house. They got to put all these pieces together into a package, which is a solution. And that's what our community health workers do. It's a lot of running around. We have company cars, and like just this morning, we took somebody to an eye appointment, and the lady was like, I would have never gone to this appointment if you hadn't taken me here. And that's where we build the connection with the patient, and they realize that we're going to follow through. A lot of these people need what I think is a social ICU. You know, we put people in the ICU and they have all kinds of metabolic and medical derangements, and they get all the medical needs taken care of, and IVs and oxygen. They need a social ICU, and this is the best we have on an outpatient basis, where we reach out to them and we stick with them as long as they're willing to stick with us. We rely a lot on community collaboration. It requires the fire department telling us when they engage with people, the police department telling us what issues they have and giving us mug shots, the shelters helping us and us getting in with the shelters. We're always calling in favors and just stitching it together, because the one thing we always jump on is when we have somebody that's willing to engage. That's what we're really looking for. A lot of these people are treatment resistant, but they will eventually be treatment ready. So a lot of what we do is contact people. They're not ready. They tell us to get lost. And then when they're ready, that's when we want to jump, because that's the best drug we have, is when that patient is ready to engage and collaborate, then we're off to the races. If they want it, they're probably going to get it. We're going to remove all the other barriers so they can get it. And when they don't want it, we want to do harm reduction. Like, we want to give them Narcan, and we want to do what we can to reduce the chance that they're going to overdose, and do harm reduction proven techniques. Initially, we have been tasked with taking care of the 30 highest users of municipal court. We have attempted to contact all of them without a lot of success, but we've put all their court dates on our calendars, and we're going to be going to all their court dates, and we hope to reach out to them. So our initial round is we want to try to reach out, offer all the above services to people that have municipal court coming up, and then start taking more referrals from the community and doing this intensive case management with our community partners.
Any questions?
I'll just lob this out there. I think the community is the treatment-resistant folks that's in the public view, that's kind of got the uproar in our community, that just lock them up. Basically, I'm just speaking from what I hear. So that's the challenge that we have. Councilmember Dillon.
Yeah, I think just to kind of piggyback off that, I mean, first of all, thanks for all your
Yes.
work and that presentation. I think trying to sort of mentally consolidate all the different moving parts is, it's pretty astounding, and you did a great job summarizing that. I guess the treatment resistance part, because we hear that so often. Oh, these folks don't want treatment, they don't want services, and how do you overcome that, I guess, initial hesitance when you do run into that?
There's some things you can do initially. You can do motivational interviewing, which is like, what do you want to do? And you get some momentum for what do you want to do? Well, why do you want to do that? What are you willing to do to accomplish that goal? Sometimes that works, but a lot of it is really making a good impression and waiting for and giving them your card and having some street cred, like giving them a meal or something, and they're like, okay, this person isn't just full of crap. And then waiting for them to hit rock bottom when they're ready. Unfortunately, that's there's not a lot of like quick fixes. Now, sometimes you can if you're really respectful and you really meet them on their own terms. That's really key. Like when they're in community court, that's what the court was designed for, to not be a really punitive, structured court that you feel out of place in. But a lot of it is like you got to wait for when they're ready, and then they contact you, or you reach them when they're at rock bottom.
Councilmember Dillon? No.
Sorry, I was just going to tag on to that. So when we connect with these folks, we're boots on the ground out on the street. That's where community health workers really can form that therapeutic relationship. There's a trusting relationship that's built. When we do the assessment, we can identify some things that these folks are willing to work on, and that kind of starts help the process, the ball rolling. Maybe they're not ready to go to SUD treatment right now, but they're willing to work on a few other things that could help stabilize them in the community. So it might be a small start, and we're planting those seeds of that relationship, and that kind of springs into some moving parts where we can do like the motivational interviewing, perhaps some contingency management might move the needle a little bit, and we'll start working with the goals that client is really ready to work on at that time, keep that relationship ongoing and see how we can progress it.
Thank you.
Councilmember Cathcart?
Oh, no, okay.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Nevin. Thank you, Erica. We're going to turn things over now to Dawn Kinder to tee up the work that she's doing with Ariel and also separately with Revive along the division corridor, and anything else you'd like to highlight.
Yeah, so we just wanted to give council an update. Thanks for having us and making space for Lacey and Josh to share too directly. I think they'll have the most compelling information, so I'll keep my portion brief. Obviously, as part of the opioid crisis, we partnered with Commerce and WashDOT to identify that second and division corridor as a kind of innovative use of the encampment resolution program, acknowledging that it is a more transient space, but certainly a space where we're seeing incredible secondary impacts. I really appreciate Dr. Nevin's statements around the addiction challenges. I think for several years now, the homeless system has been asked to respond to an addiction crisis, and the homeless system was designed to respond to a housing crisis, and addiction is a fundamentally different challenge. And so I think our housing providers have been really struggling as well, as how do we get our hands around this and support these clients who are unhoused and also struggling with addiction that we are not equipped to address. And so I think Revive is one organization that has kind of grown into that space and really tried to tackle both pieces at once, which is why they were a great partner for this effort. We completed that by names list and assessment process several weeks ago. I believe you all got that update a few weeks back. All 39 people on that by names list did move into Cannon, which is pretty incredible when you get 100% of people eligible to engage. So huge kudos to that team. At this point, they're continuing to do the on-site services at the Revive Hive to try and connect all of those 39 individuals to permanent or transitional housing in the community. I know part of the ongoing conversation is, that great work did not solve for the windshield problem in that neighborhood, which we knew would not be the case. Maggie and I did have a great meeting yesterday with I2 Strategies and SPD to talk about monitoring in that neighborhood and what we can continue to do to address the population that Dr. Nevin just so eloquently described, who we're still seeing struggle in that neighborhood. I will, as an ancillary update to that, share that hopefully you've seen 7-Eleven's new fencing is going up. I know Luis has been involved in that. It's not an immediate fix. I think it is creating some better outcomes for that particular location as we continue to think about what else we can do. So more to come as we think about the monitoring and working with SPD on that in the coming weeks, but some good progress starting there. But I'd love for Josh and Lacey to give an update from their end on how it's going at Revive Hive. I know they've had some incredible success so far. Lane did send me a really wonderful letter from an individual you've already engaged with who is so thankful for you all, so that was fun to see. But I'd turn it over to you guys to share what you've been doing, your success, and how it's going.
Thanks, Don. So as Don was saying, on July 3rd, we opened the Hive, taking kind of a comprehensive, targeted approach at the folks that were sleeping outside down there on the corridor. We started with 39 folks. So far, we've placed 11 of those individuals in some sort of housing option, either transitional housing or at the Catalyst. We have 3 pending placement. We have 3 that are currently incarcerated, 3 that are currently in treatment, and we've only had to exit 1 for behavior issues that presented a safety concern. There's 18 currently engaged, and we're just down there working with all of our community partners, Chaz, Providence, Camus, all the MAT service providers, Compassionate Addiction Treatment, Jules Helping Hands. It's kind of a all hands on deck approach.
A lot of people have been more interested now into getting into the MAT services, getting people into the sobering center with CAT to get them at the baseline so that we can talk about treatment and medications and all that good stuff, and redirecting attitudes and livelihoods that we're just trying to get back on track. But it's been good. We've had, like he said, we have one that just got released today. He showed up this morning and was very thankful for, us staying in contact with him. We made sure to send someone up in the jail to talk when he did get arrested. He's sober. We're now getting him into a sober transitional house today. So hopefully we can take his success story and run with it, get everyone else on board.
I would say too, just to highlight what Josh shared, there's an incredible number of partners kind of coalescing around this effort. We, a few weeks ago now, a few of us from the mayor's office got to tour the new Camus facility out in Airway Heights, and they're doing some really incredible mobile response. So I think we'll continue to see that partnership grow. So I'm thrilled you guys are, I know I connected Lane with Ricky, but I think that's a great next step, and certainly supports Dr. Nevin's point that it takes a ton of different hands to create all the different solutions. And I think once people are engaged, they do want sobriety, and they will work for that. So I think we're seeing that in both projects.
They came and toured on Monday, and they're excited to be able to, when we get the person, like Dr. Nevin said, when they're ready, they're in that small window of saying, I'm ready. Now we're getting something brought to the community that's, fast acting. It's we can make a phone call and get the ball rolling right then and there. So I'm excited to have them join the team also.
Awesome. Councilmember Cathcart.
Yeah, just wondering, since you guys started the work, how many individuals have you engaged, and what percentage have you found success with?
So successful right now, 11. They're doing awesome. They're engaged with SUD treatment. If it's IOP, if it's, getting that initial assessment started to get into IOP, or a 3.5 to get them into treatment. We do have that going. We have 3 in treatment already. So
what percentage of all of the individuals that you've directly engaged with does that represent? Is that 5%, 50%?
Well, we started with 39, and those were identified for us as living outside in the corridor. So of the 39,
15.
more than 25%, roughly 30% have been
How are you
placed.
addressing folks that are not in that 39? Because you go to that corridor, there's many more than 39.
Well, that is not their role. So I think that the Revive Hive is focused on the by names list that is created through the
Sure,
encampment.
but I'm trying to understand, how does that work? I mean, how does your work
for
continue
just
on
this
knowing-
project,
Yeah, yeah.
this is just the first phase of the project that they have, here's 39 folks, let's see what you guys can do. And so far, we've broke the list almost in half of successful, and then now we're just getting the ones, as Dr. Nevin said, you got to catch them when they're in that place of right here, right now.
So I hear Councilor Cathcart. I have a question. That we know there's a certain population that has been, I'm using the word expelled, from all the programs that are available that are out there. So we know that's a challenge. But also, where is the backup in community court? Because that's my concern. Now that all this enforcement citations are going, they're going to community court. I know I asked our community court director really about capacity, because it's not just this end, it is the continuum of the people we're trying to help. So I don't know.
I mean, I can speak on the community court piece. We constantly have folks, our service providers, case managers that are down engaged at community court, just waiting for clients that are a part of the Revive family to come through the door that we can re-engage with and try to find solutions for.
And I will say just, and I know Maggie can certainly speak to community court as well, I know Sarah's here too, but on your question, Councilmember Cathcart, I will say, the 100% of eligible people Revive successfully moved into Cannon. And that's an unheard of number when we look at other encampment resolution responses in Spokane, which have, Camp Hope's obviously the most public, but we also had Adams Street. Neither of those had 100% engagement. It's a huge testament to the outreach Revive did to get 100% of eligible folks to actually move in to the Revive Hive. And then of those 100%, they've already housed in 1 month about a quarter of them, 3 of them actively participating in treatment. And then the 18 folks who are still living there are actively engaged. They're just in that pipeline to exit. So just to try and we can get some more. We have a CMIS data we can certainly share as well. But
If we could just get weekly, bi-monthly, whatever would work, but just reports on the numbers.
Yeah, we can get an updated report out for sure. Happy to do that.
Yeah, just really quickly, also thank you for your work. That's wonderful. It's good data to share. And I guess kind of the overall sense of safety. I mean, we've had 2 shootings over the summer. Around 2nd and Division, and one thing that we hear a lot is kind of the predatory behavior of people coming down, doing hand-to-hands, selling fentanyl. And so I guess, and this might be more of a follow-up for SPD, but what does that look like kind of on the ground for you all, kind of helping, I guess, get folks into stabilization? Are you still hearing or kind of seeing that presence kind of come there and really, I think, prey on people who are vulnerable?
Well, I think a major goal of this project was to create that by names list from the folks that were most at risk of being preyed upon in the corridor. So the folks that made it onto that list are the folks that were identified to be the most vulnerable. And we were able to, like Don said, outreach all of them and get them in. As far as what's going on in the corridor currently, we're a little less included in that. But I would hope that would have some effect in a positive direction, that there's less of those vulnerable individuals there.
And I too did a really good job, like he said, of getting that list sorted out, going through all the questions they asked. So we did have the ones that were stuck downtown that wanted the help with change. So I feel like that's why we didn't have such a hard time with getting these folks into treatment, getting these guys into stabilization, getting help with medications, getting healthy, all that good stuff.
And I'd just add, I think that's part of that, the remaining folks who you were describing, Councilmember, are exactly who our conversation yesterday with I2 and SPD was trying to create the monitoring around, and those are some of the, I think it was Council President that said treatment resistant, and that is some of what we're still seeing there. That ties directly into that predatory behavior that we certainly see. So I think that monitoring plan that we're now working with I2 and SPD to get rolling is kind of the phase 2 response that will hopefully provide better updates for you all as we get that going.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the follow-up will be, how to stop it from coming into court. So.
I'm going to go back to Dr. Nevin again. You said about ICU community. I know that most of our unhoused folks really don't have a place to gather. I've observed 2nd Division. Many of them meet there. That's the only place they can go and see anybody else. There's no green space, nowhere to gather that's legal or acceptable. So I think there needs to be a conversation of they still need somewhere to go and to interact in a safe environment. I mean, the one model we have is the Evergreen Club, but that's just meet the needs of a very specific demographic. So I know we keep talking about a navigation center, a one-stop, so I think we cannot leave that out of the conversation as one part of the solution. It's not everything, but it's one part of the solution going forward. So
when they're ready, there needs to be a 7-Eleven that okay, I'm ready to go get my Suboxone, and it needs to be as available as a 7-Eleven. Now there's there's just getting together, which is just a sense of community, which can, that's a fine line. Maybe they're going to use drugs, or maybe they're going to, that's a whole nother type of social atmosphere. There is the Recovery Cafe where they can go. There is CAT where they can go, and it's more of a therapeutic environment, but they can just, be there. But I'm with you, there needs to be, in my opinion, where that Starbucks closed down, that needs to be a place where they can walk in and start Suboxone anytime. Almost day or night, because it needs to be at that when they can't get it and they're like, I've had enough, they're ready to take it for maybe an hour, maybe 2-3 hours, and then they're going to get more of the illicit fentanyl, and they're going to go back to where they're at. I think that's part of the solution, or the street administration of these drugs. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, that was where I was going. I was just trying to understand, what is that overlay then with the street medicine? Are they not out there proactively making sure that they get the Suboxone?
I don't have intimate knowledge on that. In my mind, the street medicine is more, they'll just do a patrol, but I'm not an expert on what the street medicine people are doing. I think it needs to be known that, this is the place you go. It is the 7-Eleven. When you're ready, go to this place. They're always open, and they got X, Y, and Z, Suboxone, Vivitrol. They'll get you into treatment, and it's a safe place. Right now, you got to stitch that together yourself.
And I will say, on the street medicine side, they are a primary care, primary responder. They will connect people to MAT services if they get somebody in that 2-hour window at the time they arrive. But their primary function is really around primary medical care for folks who are unhoused, and then making those connections. But they're not currently prescribers of Suboxone.
Now, the fire department is doing something pretty innovative. If they get somebody who's overdosed, they will start them on Suboxone, which hardly anyone in the country is doing right now, and then they'll take them to detox, the new STARS detox, and then they can the following days get them on Suboxone there. That's really kind of the best immediate response we have. But of course, those people technically died, and we brought them back, and we're waiting until then. That would be the dream scenario. It's like a Domino's pizza. When you're ready, we're going to bring the Suboxone to you.
Chaz and Providence have been awesome with coming down to the Hive when we do make phone calls. And first thing in the morning, they're meeting with patients, they're getting the meds filled, and then having their outreach team bring it to the Hive, get them dosed. So it's been about 5 of the guys out of the 11 placed. That was the scenario. We caught them in that right moment, right here, right now.
I think the easiest, lowest hanging fruit is to get people on MAT in jail. They're a captive audience, and they can really be stable, and you can really set them up for success when they re-enter the community, and I think that's a missed opportunity.
I, just given time, want to turn things over to Ann Raven, Integrated Medical Services Coordinator. Did I get that almost right? Yes. With our Spokane Fire Department. Dr. Nevin referenced some of the really innovative work that she's doing, so if you want to just touch on that and some of the BRU and CARES work, that'd be great.
Sure. So, yes, thank you, Dr. Nevin. So I think one of the unique things that the fire department has is that we know, and again, this is evidence-based, that meeting them at that point of change, which comes often, unfortunately, with a life-threatening event like overdose. So having them, we have that unique opportunity of they have overdosed, they have stopped breathing, and oftentimes the people around them have seen this. They see them blue, they see them getting chest compressions, they see them not breathing, they see the resuscitation take place, and they see, so we get them alive again and conscious again, and we give them the Narcan. And now is the point of, do you want to continue this? Will you take this opportunity where we can keep you from getting sick and move forward? And, we utilize things, our VRU utilizes things like granola bars and Rice Krispie treats and water and whatnot, just to keep them long enough staying there to talk to us. I do think that, and that has helped a lot. And not everyone accepts the Suboxone at that point, obviously, but then they will immediately, we do get as much information from them as we can to refer them back to our CARES unit, which is our social workers. So, which is expanding greatly right now. The jobs are posted right now. Hopefully we will be hiring in September 3 full-time social workers for our CARES department, because what we have seen, the referrals, which are only from the fire department right now to CARES, have increased by 56% over the last few years. And we have one paid social worker and then a bunch of, a wonderful crew of students who are going for their master's in social work. And while that was wonderful, it depended on the school year and all of that. Now to have these 3 additional positions, they can really follow up with all of those people. And again, out on the street, they're out, in vehicles, they're making visits. The people that we look to hire right now will have experience in homeless outreach, substance use disorder, be able to find those people that said no to us initially and keep trying to make that connection and get them into treatment. But yes, the best way is honestly if they are able in that moment of no, they don't want to be at risk like this anymore, is to get them that buprenorphine. We know administering that buprenorphine, just that time cuts their risk of fatality in half in those following 24 to 48 hours. So just that is harm reduction in itself. But then to have the experience that, hey, I don't have to get sick, I don't have to go through misery to go down this path. Additionally, the BRU is teamed with a mental health provider because it is so often a co-occurring problem. It's not just substance use alone. And then our CARES team does a great job of keeping people in their homes when they have homes, people who are facing eviction, things like that. And then again, following up with these people and making the connection to all of the services that are out there that is very hard to piece together. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I have. Does anyone have any questions that I could answer?
Theraflu talking. I'll just say, I think there's so much good work going on. Our community just feels so overwhelmed. And I don't know what else we can do to increase the capacity to really meet this challenge. Spokane is like many other communities. We all see it on the news every day. They're all struggling with the same thing. So I think letting us know as we're doing our broke budget what that really needs to look like if we really want to move the needle in the direction the community says it wants to go, and that is to help our folks. We have the unhoused and we have the unhoused that are addicted, and we just put them all in one bucket, and they've been painted with the same brush, which is not fair to the ones who aren't not dealing with substance abuse and who really do need housing. But then there's this other side too. So thank you for that clarity. I'll give it back to Maggie.
Great, thank you, Council President. And I think that's a great point that and some of these programs are right at the outset where we are overwhelmed. There is a significant need, and we have some great work that is just starting. And so Anne's team is doing great work in terms of collecting data. I know Ariel and Don and Revive are collecting data. Dr. Nevin is collecting performance metrics. So this will be really helpful to us to help inform and help inform council sort of what is working and what where are the return on investments. I want to turn over now to Luis from Code Enforcement to talk about the secondary impacts of homelessness. I know we are sort of bouncing between strictly homelessness issues as well as strictly substance use issues, and then the areas that blur as well. But Luis Garcia from Code can speak about the secondary impacts of homelessness.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, my department really manages the homeless outreach team. It's a partnership between Code Enforcement, our other control crew, and Spokane Police Department. We are responding to complaints and proactive areas daily while we're at work, and they're complaints of homeless encampments. We do have a lot that are really no violations. Somebody sees somebody on a sidewalk and it's really not an encampment. It's just somebody with maybe a backpack or something, and they'll submit it that way. So we still deal with those types of cases, but we do respond to all of the complaints that we do get. We do get a lot of duplicates as well, so that's something that is true. How do we get the complaints, I guess, is a good question that we always get. 311 is going to be your inlet to submit a complaint for unlawful camping. So if the community does see that, they'll call 311. We get it into our tracking database, and that tracking database is sent out to a lot of different regional partners. So to include, service providers, law enforcement, and our elected officials. So we do get compile those in a list, and because the list is so vast, we've actually split our teams into two. We have a downtown crew that works the downtown precinct area, police precinct area, and they're really focused on the secondary impacts of homelessness, which aren't just encampments. Could be graffiti, could be solid waste, illegal dumps. All of the above. So they're working the downtown. We have a neighborhood group that's responding in the same to stuff that's outside of the downtown precinct. A little bit of kind of overview of the numbers that we're responding to. We're still trending in the wrong direction, if you will. We're about 50% up from last year in cases that we're responding to from this time last year. So in July alone, we received 380 unlawful camping complaints. We did complete about 166 abatements. Those are when we left that site, there was no longer an encampment there. It was completely resolved. It doesn't mean that something is going to be reoccupied. It's just saying that case had a resolution to it. In that same time frame, we had about 123 partial abatements, and what a partial abatement means is that we responded to the complaint. We working with any occupants, or if it is occupied, to take any litter that's there, and obvious litter, and get that out of the area, because that is a health and safety issue. If it's vacant, then again we'll take some obvious litter, but we do always intend to preserve property. So we will post the property or the location and come back at a 48-hour notice pursuant to our code. So we do follow our encampment removal process or policy that really is looking to afford the opportunity for the voluntary compliance. However, if there is health and safety situations that are present, we do have a responsibility to protect the public at large. So we would do, an expedited encampment removal. If there is storable items, we would store that and leave a notice to any occupant that may not be there, where they can retrieve their belongings. So we do store belongings. We store them for at least 60 days, but it usually tends to be longer because we're so busy we don't get a chance to circle back into purging that. And we do return property often as well. Just kind of a note, and again, it's not really a celebration, but we've to date we've about 400,140 pounds of garbage, through the end of July, while responding to encampment citywide. And again, just for comparison's sake, so far this year we've already passed 2023 numbers.
Yeah, Luis, I wonder if you could share, and if you don't have the numbers, we can maybe just do it via email or offline, but how many visits to a site on average, and I know everyone's different, but just on average, does it take before it gets cleared? How do you prioritize where you're visiting? How long is your team often on site to clear a camp? Is it 6-8 hours? Is it pretty quick? I think those are just really important, things to just kind of a better understanding of in terms of your time and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it really is going to vary based on the site conditions. There's some that can take a long time if they've been there pretty substantial amount of time that we'd have to kind of remove, trying to preserve any space that we can as well. We're not just kind of going through with our equipment trying and tearing up everything around it. So it would really depend. Some things can be really quick, where it's just a small team of 2 that can go ahead and abate. Other times, something has grown to the extent where we're going to need to have like an all hands on deck, and we'll pull from other teams to have more operators there to remove the belongings or remove the litter and debris. Let me see if I can get your other questions.
Just the priorities of
priorities.
how you prioritize.
So when we split up into two teams, we tried for efficiency's sake to try to really group them in by geographic location. So we don't want to have the team go from one side of the city to the other in a work day. We try to keep them so we can hit as many locations, as many cases as we can throughout a day. So we do try to have equity throughout because, as you can see from Nicolette's visual, it really is a citywide problem. I know we have people that feel maybe it's concentrated downtown, but it really is a citywide problem. We respond to camps throughout the corporate limits. So we will prioritize those based on location and batch those together. But there are locations that we know are reoccupied frequently that we will put on our schedule or be mindful that we'll go back multiple times a week to those locations. Especially in the downtown area, we have hot spots, if you will, that we frequent daily. Challenge with having hot spots is that if everything's a hot spot, then really nothing's a hot spot. So that's the challenge that we kind of have to weigh, like what is the level of safety sensitivity that we have to mitigate.
And then just one quick follow-up. What triggers the expedited camp removal? Versus giving them a warning, coming back, and all that, and removing them the moment.
Yeah, everything has to be rooted in safety. So if there are unsafe conditions, it's not just somebody camping with their belongings, but we do see the sharps, the drug paraphernalia, human waste. Just the health and safety that could be exposing the public at large, that would constitute an expedited removal.
So Luis, 300 came in, you get the ones that, the 150, what happened to the other ones? How do you communicate back with citizens? So they called in 311, they made their complaint, they're on the list, in their mind, nothing never happens. Then what is that communication tool, or is there just a website they go to and see that their complaint is just still on a list?
Yeah, it's a great question. So in the 311 process, our tracking database, so it's a combination of our tracking database called Cella and 311's database, which is Salesforce. So when they do an intake on the complaint, they'll be attached to that complaint. And they would get updates on what's happening on it. The challenge is, I think that, like Councilmember Cathcart was alluding to, is that there's not a one size fits all. So if we get to a location and it's vacant, not abandoned, but vacant, we don't want to just go and just remove everything. We'll provide the notice pursuant to the statute. So we've responded to the complaint, but there's stuff still there. So there's this idea that nothing has been done. Due process has been put in motion, so that's a major thing that we have to afford everybody. The other thing is if you submit a complaint and you're one of the, for example, in this last July, we had 110 duplicate complaints. So these high visual locations will have many people submit on the same thing. And they'll get a notification that hopefully tells the true story, but it's kind of hard to communicate those out, saying, hey, your complaint has been closed. However, it either something happened like it's not there, or you're a duplicate onto the parent complaint. And you'll still get your updates and whatnot, but we do get frequent calls on, hey, you guys closed my complaint and it's still there. That's what happened in a lot of those cases, just a duplicate of a already case that we have in action.
And I hear from people frequently the concerns that it was closed, they didn't do anything, et cetera. And I just wonder, is there a way we could just tweak the system so that the complaint doesn't technically get closed? It maybe gets grouped into a larger, but it's still open and they understand that it's still being looked at?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that with it's a great opportunity with the new tracking database that you guys just approved on council. We appreciate that. That we can have some of these enhancements and tell the true story instead of giving everybody these false hope and or get people irate with not understanding where it is in the process.
Well, Mac, I know our time is short, but I'd really like to hear from Chief McNabb.
We also have community court in the room as well, so
okay. All right.
we can.
Okay, we have time, so we got another good 15,
We've got a
20
deep
minutes.
bench from community court as well, public defender and prosecutor in the room, along with community court prosecutor and public defender and Howard Delaney, and then Sarah Thompson up at the table with us. So community court so often functions as sort of the last line of defense in a lot of ways with the population of folks who are referred for unauthorized camping. So over to you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you for allowing me to be here today. I was asked to give a brief overview of community court's model and the increase in the referrals that we've seen this year, followed by discussing what the resource needs are to continue to support community court. So at last point, I'll have Howard step up here and he'll go ahead and go over the resource needs. Knowing that we're really limited today, I just want to put it out there that I'm more than happy, the team is more than happy to come back and present on community court, our overall processes, how we got to where we are today, and answer any questions, or share any data elements, or if there's anything specific that the council would like us to bring forward. So please at any time know that our community court team is willing to come forward. So for the overview of our therapeutic court model, traditionally therapeutic courts are really based on that abstinence. They're focused on drug testing and sanctions, and it's a really structured program. Community court follows national best practice standards and the Center for Justice Innovation as we look at harm reduction. So we want to work with individuals as we focus on their individual needs. We want to reduce their failure to appear for court hearings. We want to reduce the law enforcement contacts. We're working with them to reduce the use of illicit substances. And we want to increase our connection to basic needs, which are like your clothing, your transportation, your hygiene. And we also want to increase that access to treatment and then treatment compliance, which is a huge component for us. So we strive to utilize the problem-solving approach. We do have everybody entering community court undergo a CCAT, which is a criminal court assessment tool that helps us to identify 6 basic needs. So we're looking at mental health, substance use, trauma, education, employment, and housing. That was generated by our Center for Justice Innovation as they helped us with community court. We have taken it a step further, and so we now identify additional needs. We look to see if people need assistance in getting their identification, if there is health care, insurance, civil legal assistance, veterans assistance, women's services, victim services, vision, clothing, dental. I mean, the list just goes on and on. We are focused on every single individual and what needs they have and how we can help them. We have collaborative partnerships with many government agencies, social service providers, community groups. Consistent Care is at the table with us. We have recently began utilizing a case management to track conditions, to provide those additional assistances, to help people navigate service, to help with those care coordinations. We're helping people secure housing upon completion of inpatient programs, and as long as they're entering into a transitional sober living environment, we're helping with those move-in costs and then those first couple of months rent, so that we can help them focus on their treatment and putting themselves first rather than focus on that employment barrier. Our case management team, we will review all cases that are scheduled each week for new citations. We'll check treatment status, review the conditions. We meet with the treatment court teams every Monday. We go over that and we provide that to our entire team so everybody is aware of each person's case. We recognize as a court, a community court, that if we don't address a lot of these quality, low-level offenses, that does impact the community at large. And so we are working in partnership with Hotspotters, the Consistent Care team, to really make sure that we are reducing the impact on the ERs, the high utilizers. I know we have that first 30 names that have just come out. So our community court team case management, we have consistent check-ins. We meet with everybody on a weekly basis just to make sure we connect with those services. We're really focused on that harm reduction. And just on a couple cases, we have one person who had some seriously spotty attendance across the various court systems, not just municipal court, but lots of FTAs, failure to appears. And since he's been checking in with us, he's appeared for 5 weeks in a row for community court, which is a huge step that we want to recognize. He's open to the idea of going to treatment. He's going to undergo a substance use assessment on Monday, and we're making significant progress on this one. We have another individual that was on the high utilizer list. He's currently in inpatient treatment. We are working with him and the Hotspotters team. Consistent Care just reached out yesterday for that care coordination so that we can ensure that we have housing and treatment upon completion of that 28-day program. We're seeing an increase in our community courts in people that are willing to enter treatment, which is fantastic. We have really connected with ABHS and Pioneer significantly to increase that. we are connecting with people while they're in treatment. This is something that's newer for us too, as we are trying to bridge those gaps so that when you're completed with treatment, you're not just done with treatment and all of a sudden you need to show up to court the next day. We want to make sure that we're meeting those basic needs. Everybody that's getting out of treatment is getting a backpack with some basic clothing, some snacks, a bus pass, resources, everything that they need to make sure that that quick little window that we have, what we have available. I don't want to go over into all these intricacies. I know it's kind of going here on time. But I do want to make sure that I invite everybody to come down to community court every Monday. We are there except for federal holidays, but you're more than welcome to come down, see how our participants engage with the core site, but then also with our providers, and just see what that looks like. As we look at the increase in referrals that we have seen this year, I know there was a brief overview of this on Monday, but our cases have more than doubled since last year. So in January, we had 67 new cases filed to community court. February 68, March 67. April we had 97, May we had 249, June 230, July 236. As of today, for August, we have had 144 cases filed into community court. We're only halfway through the month. So at this rate, we're probably going to approach 300 by September, and unfortunately, our team's going to hear right now, but close to 400 by the end of December.
Councilmember Cathcart.
And are those all related to sit-lie, pedestrian interference, and camping?
These are all the low-level nonviolent offenses that do qualify for community court.
But specifically those three? Are these all those
So
three?
no, this is for all cases. So this could have the trespass, the thefts.
Gotcha. Would it be possible to get just some more data on, again, of those three? Because that's, I think, predominantly what we're discussing. What percentage are dismissed right off the front? What percentage are continuing in community court? And what percentage have been bumped to alpha court because of whatever issues might have arisen?
Yes.
Great.
Other questions? Council President, defer to you whether it's helpful to hear more about resource needs in community court or ask Acting Chief McNabb to answer any questions.
Is that Howard over there?
That is.
I could give Howard 90 seconds. Howard, give me the.
Hiding behind the pillar.
Oh. You can give me the bottom line on costs, really what we need to keep community court based on the increase in services.
We had a change in circumstances even since the briefing on Monday. One of our court clerk twos is.
You want to step up from behind the pillar there, Howard?
Sorry, one of our court clerk twos who mans this docket and was trained in community court is taking another position within the organization, so we're even shorter. Actually, to deal, assuming that the bubble we've seen since May is not really a bubble, it's just the new norm, we're probably looking at a court clerk 2 to back up community court, which again we just lost, and a court clerk 1 and a community justice services specialist. Again, if you want to deal effectively with the population, you have to be able to spend enough time with them and provide the wraparound support. Seeing them for 1 or 2 minutes doesn't build the trust relationship that Dr. Nevin was talking about. So if you really want to maximize the benefits of this model, you've got to put people in it. It's people that engage the population. So that's my recommendation.
We'll talk more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Howard.
And I might add, sorry, you didn't think I was going to stop that. Prosecutors and public defenders' offices here with me, and again, as I mentioned on Monday, they're absolutely integral to this team. So even if you prop up the court's ability to deal with it, those two offices are absolutely integral, and they also, as this population increases, need staffing assistance. So, thank you.
Any questions for our Spokane Police Department?
Training. What's been the in training as these things, the landscape has changed?
Me.
Sure.
Yep.
Come on up. You can have my chair.
Behind the great pillar. Hello, everybody. So we obviously were waiting on the Supreme Court's decision on Boyden Martin. And after that, we had to send out a training bulletin to let everybody know what the enforcement protocol would be. We also had to do work and develop the map that the officers would use to determine whether or not somebody was in violation of that particular section of the unlawful camping code. And then we recently just got all those accomplished, so it's ready to be enforced.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Chief Knapp.
Any questions for Chief McNabb?
Just could you just maybe explain a little bit more about when you go out with the hot team and just what that partnership looks like, and just kind of what is PD's specific role versus code and others?
Our main role when we're going out with the hot team is to provide safety and security for them. My understanding is when we get into a lot of enforcement activity, when the hot team is trying to get a lot accomplished in one day, it really slows that process down. Enforcement, is an individual nuanced thing. We don't always write somebody a ticket for this or that. It depends on the interaction with that person. They're out letting the officer use their best judgment and discretion on when a citation is appropriate, and that applies for all the laws we enforce unless we have a mandatory arrest provision. So that's how we'll look at that. That's how we look at all laws that we do.
Thank you. Thanks, Chief. Thank you, Council President, Council members, for the opportunity to share some of the work being done. Thank you for all of the work being done by everyone around the table. I think I'm very optimistic in the direction that we're moving, and I think we're making some significant and impressive strides across the city. So I'll turn it over to you, Council President.
I will echo that, and it just reinforces what a complex issue that we are dealing with, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. It's as unique as every individual that we encounter with these challenges. So I do thank all of you all for your work. We are on the team. Your council members are truly on the team to help come up with solutions and innovative ways to meet these challenges. So we just look forward to working with you. Continue to email us with your concerns. You don't need me to say that because you're going to do it anyway. But anything else that we can step up, please let us know. Thank you all for coming. Councilmember Dillon and then Councilmember Cathcart.
I hope that we have more of these. This was really enlightening. I think for me, it's funny on council because, I get called a fascist one day and a dirty pinko Marxist the next for not enforcing our laws. And I'm old enough to remember that council makes laws, it doesn't enforce them. But I think as we're seeing more data come out, about what citations look like, municipal court cases, but then also the work that's being done on the streets to get people to the services that they need. When we talk about a holistic approach, it really is all of that coming together to demonstrate, okay, it's not all just in one bucket, it's all these different components working together, and that's the story that we need to tell to the public. To dispel a lot of these myths, because quite frankly, I think the conversation that's happening in the community sometimes to me feels very reductive, and I think that at the same time I understand people want to see results, they want to see change, and that really is on us to do. So,
Councilmember Cathcart.
I guess two things. Let's continue the conversation. I think this is helpful, and we can obviously do a lot more, different focus areas in terms of these discussions. I'd love to hear from other jurisdictions as to what they're doing and what our kind of the staff level partnerships look like and all of that. I think that would be really good to think about, especially in the broader context of sort of the regionality of all of this. The second thing is just data. If you have data and it's up to date and you can share it, please do. I feel like I don't see a lot of data that actually tells me that something is working or not working. There's a lot of assumptions, and I would love to base the decisions on actual hard data that we have. So anything that you have and can kind of on a recurring basis provide, that would be very valuable.
And I will echo that. However, I have to say, since these are such new programs, the way we capture data hasn't even been designed yet, or we're just at the beginning, at least in my opinion, we're just at the beginning stages of capturing that data, and how do we use it when we have captured it to go forward. But I absolutely agree as these programs evolve and are developed more. So again, thank you all very much for your time. It's been a great study session, and
Sorry, can I just make one quick comment before we
Yes.
close on the data piece? We have signed our data share agreement with SRHD, and we are on track for the first 3 dashboards as a regional HMIS snapshot to start being hosted on their data center in October. And I'm happy to send, I had shared with the mayor's office, but I'm happy to send to council what those initial 3 dashboards will include. And then our goal is to work with the community and with council and other jurisdictions to determine what other dashboards do we want to see. Are these the right ones? But we have all of that moving very on target and those agreements in place. And our CMIS team is training the SRHD staff shortly so they can have those dashboards live in October. HMIS is a unique system, so what would be really helpful on our end to bring data forward is to know which data points are helpful for you all to know. Is it project specific, system specific? Because then we can create regular things that we're sharing out. So maybe a follow-up conversation just with Ariel and I about what on a recurring basis would council want to see, because HMIS is not a live dashboard. But we can curate reports and then send those regularly. I know there's some conversation happening with that already, but those.
For me, it's all of it, but happy to discuss how we can try to be more focused.
All right, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much. We'll be seeing you around.